I've tried to record this intro like 80 times. Hello everyone, KC here, and today I'm going to be going over hacking IL2CPP Unity games using MinHook. I'm going to be explaining what IL2CPP is, what is a hook, and what is MinHook. Okay, so first things first, what is IL2CPP? IL2CPP stands for Intermediate Language to C++. If you've ever taken a look at Unity's game engine or tried to make a game with it, you'll notice that a lot of the stuff contains C# code. The scripts, objects, stuff like that. So the intermediate language in IL2CPP stands for C#. So C# to C++ is basically what Unity is trying to do here. Why do we need to know this? Because the way that Unity does this is kind of bad. If I go to my Steam and go to the game that I want to look at and go to its properties, local files, browse, you know your game is IL2CPP when it has a game assembly, and if you look at the data folder, and then it should say like IL2CPP_data, you go to the metadata, and you can see global metadata.dat. This file basically contains the source code for the whole game. I say basically because it's kinda messed up. You can make it readable by getting something called IL2CPP dumper, which is right here. This is the GUI version. It isn't the original. The original is a command prompt kind of thing, but the GUI is just easier to use. I'll link everything in the description. So let me download the dumper. There it is. Make a folder for it. All these files in it. Can close that, and here's the exe. And basically we're just gonna dump our game. So we can right click the game, go to properties, go to the local files and browse, and we can just take note of where the game is. So C, program files 86, Steam, Steam apps, common, Devour. The executable file is the game assembly for the game. So we're going to select, and I'm already in the folder here, so let me go to Devour. You want to select the gameassembly.dll file, then global metadata.dat, pretty self-explanatory, the metadata that we saw earlier. So it will be in the data folder for the game, IL2CPP_data, and then the metadata. You can open it. And then the output directory is basically where the dump's going to be placed. So I'm going to make a folder on my desktop. Devour dump. Select. Devour dump. Start dumping. And then it's going to start dumping. Wait for it to finish. Generating dummy DLL. And then it needs to make 2 scripts for IDA, but we're not going to be using IDA in this video. Then we can close all this stuff, and this is our dump. This contains the offsets for the game and everything else. Basically, I can open this. The script.json file is what we want. I'm going to open it with Visual Studio Code. You can use anything else, any text editor will work. I just prefer Visual Studio Code because it makes it easy to read, it makes everything really simple. So this makes the game functions sort of readable. As you can see, it's like on a neat little list. The address is the place in memory that it's stored for the function. The name is the function's name, and then the signature is like the function's constructor itself. So with all of this in mind, I'm going to move on to what is a hook. A hook is basically let me explain it this way. So let's say a game has a function for you picking up like health packs or like med kits or something. Every time you pick up a med kit, you gain 50 HP. And it calls a function to give the player HP. So if the player picks up a med kit, it'll call a function, give them 50 HP inside of that function, and then the player gets 50 HP. Hooking a function allows you to change what the function does. So when the function is hooked, you can tell it to give the player 100 HP instead of 50. So the game will call the function after you apply your hook, and then your function says give the player 100 HP, which is what you did with your hook. Basically, game gives monkey 1 banana, you tell the game to give monkey 3 banana, and the game will give monkey 3 banana. I have the best explanation skills, please shut up. Basically, when you're hooking a function, you're just modifying what that function does. And lastly, what is MinHook? MinHook is just something that allows you to apply the hooks that you made. This is the GitHub right here. I'll link it down below. If you want to take a look at it, try to learn. I think they have some examples on here, maybe. But yeah, you can read through this if you want to try to understand it better than what I just tried to explain. Okay, with all of that out of the way, we need to move on to installing MinHook so we can apply these hooks. Now, to install MinHook, you need Microsoft VC package. This is just one way of doing it, but this is like the simplest way. So to do that, you need to get Git, which I will link in the description. You just go here, download for Windows, get the setup version, not the portable version, because I have no clue how to use the portable version. I'm gonna download it. You can open the setup. I already have it installed, so I'm not gonna do it, but you can open the setup and just spam click next, because it doesn't really do anything. You don't really need to modify anything. Once Git is finished installing, it's going to be in your command prompt, so you can open a CMD, and basically you just want to copy these lines of code from the Microsoft VC package GitHub. Also will be in the description. So git clone, you would copy this, paste it. I already have it, so it says like it already exists, but it'll like download and then it'll take you back to here. Bootstrap VC package.bat. Yeah, this one works because I already have it there. And then you want to do VC package integrate install, this one as well. Make sure you're copying the exact ones that I'm doing. So you want to do this one. I don't know why I didn't copy. So we're going to do this one. I have a T right there. This one. So this will allow it to access your Visual Studio. And then you want to do this dot backslash VC package backslash VC package install MinHook a colon x64 dash Windows dash static. And it already says I have it installed, but yeah, it'll install it for you. So I'll leave this on the screen if you need to see it better, but this is the most important part. You need to install VC package and then install MinHook with this command. Then you can close your command prompt, and then you can close all of this. Then you can go into Visual Studio and make a dynamic link library for this base. So we're going to create a new project. We're going to create, oh, why is it doing that? We're going to create a dynamic link library, and I'm just going to name it Devour test or something. And here we go. So first things first, we're going to right click it and then go into the properties. This is just like my preferences, but some stuff that I do won't work if you don't have it set up right. So make sure you have your configuration to release right here. If you want to save the changes, you can, yes. And then, let's see, preview, I use preview features, so the bottom one. And then go to advanced. Make sure your character set is use multi-byte character set. Apply that, click OK. And now you're semi-ready. You can remove this comment right here, include windows.h. That'll like include most of the stuff that we need, so it's not like bad when we try to add stuff in. I'm gonna clean this up. You don't have to do this, but I just prefer to do this. And then we're going to include MinHook, so hashtag include parentheses MinHook.h. Mine shows up as an error because I didn't enable VC package. So let me go back to the properties, and you will see this tab that says VC package in your Visual Studio configuration properties. Use VC package set to yes. Use static libraries. This is what you need to set to yes. Then that error should go away. It should, oh wait, I'm not set to release because that's where I set it up at. Yeah, so make sure you're on release x64 so you don't forget like I just did. And basically we need to create a constructor for our DLL main. So DLL process attach. When your DLL attaches to a process, we're going to create a new thread. So create a new thread, create thread, and then create thread has all these arguments, but you don't really need them. The start address is what really matters here, which would be the function that it's creating. So we're going to do 0, 0, and then LP thread start routine. So open parentheses, LP thread underscore start underscore routine, parentheses close, if it'll let me do it, oh my god. And then main for like our main function. We haven't made it yet, so it'll be an error. And then comma 0, comma 0. So it should look something like this. Oh, there's an extra 0, comma 0. So 3 zeros at the end, 2 zeros at the beginning, and then main in the middle. Then we can make our main function. So void main, and there you go. You shouldn't have any errors here. So we're going to need to initialize MinHook when we first use it. So I'm going to make another function for initializing, void init. We're going to call MinHook initialize, so mh underscore initialize. And then this is pretty much all you need for MinHook. Now we need to make a couple variables for our game itself. So we need to do pointer base address, or base, I'm gonna just name it base, equals, we need to cast this to a pointer and then get the module handle, get module handle null, because null would be the game itself. So we need to cast this to a pointer, which would be the data type that we just made. So pointer base pointer null. We're going to do the same thing for the game assembly because that's where all the functions are. Equals, so get module handle, it's just going to fill it in for me, but yeah, get module handle game assembly.dll. This L doesn't need to be here. This is for like if you're using the Unicode character set. I don't like using Unicode. I prefer multi-byte because you don't need to put L's in front of like most of your strings. So yeah. And then I don't think we need the Unity engine, so I'm not going to include that, but these are pretty much the two that you need right here. Then in our main function, we need to call our init function to get everything set up. So yeah, that's the beginning of MinHook. And then we're going to make another function for allocating a console so we can like output stuff. So void create console. I struggle to type it there. Once again, this is going to fill in for me, but basically we're going to allocate a console, create a file. File is undefined because I don't have to include this. So cstdio, include this, and then file will be file pointer f, and then we're going to open this file. This is just like a buffer for our console, because when you make a console inside of a DLL, it has nothing to like write to, pretty much. So this W stands for write. And then we're going to create console. So we're going to call the function that we just made. We're just getting set up here. So yeah, I'm going to do print f hello just to test that this DLL is working. So I'm going to build it. Then I'm going to open my game. Hopefully it's not loud. Let me make sure it doesn't. Turn it down. So we have the game here. I'm just going to use Process Hacker to inject the DLL. So go to External Tools, Process Hacker. And then let me see where my DLL is. So let's go here. And then Process Hacker. I'm going to inject a DLL. Inject this, and then boom. So this is the DLL that we just made. Hello, it prints hello. It's attached to the game. It has a little game icon right there. So we can close it. It's going to close the game. So we've just verified that this is working. MinHook is working properly because, yeah, everything worked fine. So with that out of the way, we have MinHook initialized and we have a console created. Now this is where we get to hook functions and do stuff like that. So the function that I'm going to hook is the function for setting FOV in the game. So here, let me go to my dump right here. The function for setting FOV in the game is null behavior $2 set FOV, but those dollar signs are just underscores. Usually, like when it decompiles a Unity DLL, it'll leave like dollar signs. Some of it could be obfuscated, so you never know. But yeah, so our address right here, it's in a number. This isn't hex. In C++, we need to use hex. We could use a number, but I just prefer to use the hex. So we're going to search up decimal. It's right there, decimal to hex. Whenever we're using this script file, we need to do decimal to hex for the address, so that this is where the function itself is. So we're going to go to decimal to hex. This is the offset for the function, the hex offset that we would use. So this is where it's located pretty much. 3B4D30. This is this number in hexadecimal. So we can define that in our code right here. So we're going to do another pointer. Set FOV offset equals 0x, and then we're going to paste that offset we got. So this is the function offset right here. Now to hook a function, you need the function's arguments. So this function has 1, 2, 3 arguments. You can tell because it has these commas right here. Every comma separates an argument. So usually when something's like this, like with a random name and a pointer, we don't have that. So we need to make it up. So I use like D-word pointer for those. I'll just show you right now. So this is a void. Setting FOV is a void. So we need to copy that part. Void. And then we need to make a parentheses. Underscore underscore. Fast call. Pointer. Set underscore FOV. Underscore O. For original, set FOV original, and then these will be where the arguments go. So if your function has 3 arguments like mine, make sure you copy the data types. So null behavior dot 0, null behavior underscore O with a pointer. This isn't like a normal C++ thing, so I'm just gonna make this a D-word pointer. D-word pointer, comma, float FOV. Floats are a thing in C++, so we're going to use float, comma, and then we have another like method info pointer. So this can be another D-word pointer. So basically you're just copying what it says for whatever you're editing. And then you need to do a semicolon to end it. And then this is where we're going to remake the function itself. So void, this is like our homemade hook pretty much. Underscore underscore fast call. No, it's going to be an STD call, my bad. STD call. And then set underscore FOV underscore hook. This is where our function where we edit the code will be. Also, we need to copy these arguments right here. But to copy these arguments in an actual function, we need to give them names. So dword pointer, going to just copy these names here. So this float FOV, and then dword pointer method info. So once again, just trying to make this clear, we are copying the function structure in the code that we got right here. So known behavior pointer, that's just a dword pointer. Float FOV, which is just a float, and then method info pointer, which would be another dword pointer. So float FOV is right here, and then we have the offset right here, which we already defined up here. And this is basically what the game would call when we hook it. So whatever we write in here is what the game will do when we call this function, when the game tries to set your FOV. So I can make the FOV equal 180, which would be really zoomed out, 180.f, which defines a float. You could just do 180, that would be an int converted to a float. So I would do 180.f, which would be an actual float. And then I'm going to print f, and then I'm going to just say FOV function called, or something like that. Then close it, and then boom. Now we set it up, but we never applied the hook in our main function. We just did an init. So we're going to go here, MinHook underscore create hook. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. I haven't done this in a while. Let me look at the documentation real quick. Alright, so yeah, MinHook create hook. We need to make sure it's an LP void, so the target function is like the function address that we got earlier, so the target that we're hooking. So we need to reinterpret cast to an LP void pointer, LP void pointer, and then game assembly. We got the game assembly because this is where the function is located. So our base is our game assembly. So game assembly plus the set FOV offset. So let me try to explain this here. The game assembly is where all these functions are located, all these functions that we're accessing. So this is the game assembly's code right here. All these functions are inside of game assembly. This address is the offset to the function itself. So whenever you want to edit a function inside of the game assembly, you need to define the game assembly first and then add the offset to it, which will point you to the function that you're editing. So game assembly plus set FOV offset, comma. So our hook would be set FOV hook. See, it's already finishing it for me, but I'm going to type it out so you can like actually understand what I'm doing, like one by one. So and would give us a handle to our set FOV hook. So and set FOV hook, whatever function you're hooking, comma, the original function. So LP void, it needs to be an LP void, so we need to reinterpret again. Reinterpret cast to an LP void pointer, and then set FOV original. So parentheses, set FOV original. So we're going to create this hook, but it's not enabled until we enable it. So we're going to do MinHook underscore enable hook, reinterpret cast, LP void, pointer, game assembly plus set FOV offset. So this is our hook. What did I do wrong? Game assembly plus set FOV offset. Did I do something wrong? Or am I just... Oh, I reinterpreted cast, but I didn't put an ending to it. Oh wait, what? What am I missing? Oh, I never put a semicolon at the end of this. My bad. Silly me. And then we can build this. So what we just did was we looked at the function we copied it, we made a hook function for it, and then we changed the value of the FOV. So anytime the game tries to set your FOV to something, it'll look at the FOV value and we're resetting it to 180 every time. So it'll like say, call it, oh, it says set FOV to 180. So it's going to set it to FOV 180. And then it's going to print FOV function called, and then we're done. Oh, one more important thing I also forgot, I just realized. Whenever you're hooking a function, you always need to return the original function. So at the end of our hook here, we need to do return set FOVO. So set FOV original, parentheses, ending. We need to add the arguments of this. So underscore this FOV method info. So we are hooking the function, changing the values, and returning the original function. And then in our main function, we are getting all the variables, we are creating the hook, and then we enable the hook. So let me go into Devour. And to prove to you that this is working, I'm going to go into a game without it, and then go into a game with it to show you the difference. Make sure that my DLL is built again, just in case. Alright, so it's built, everything's right. I'm going to match single player. And they're going to start the game. Skip this. So you can see that it's not zoomed out at all, normal FOV, normal everything. Let me go back to the main menu because the function's not called until we get into an actual game. I know that for a fact. So devour.exe, inject DLL, inject our DLL that hooks functions. So there's nothing there because I removed the like hello. But yeah, our hook should be enabled. So we're going to go to single player, start game. You can like log this stuff if you want, but I decided not to. So we're going to, ooh, it crashed. What did I forget to do? Alright, I'm back. I figured out what was wrong. So as you can see, my FOV is like way zoomed out. It's back. I set it back, but it was like way zoomed out there. So what I did wrong was I had a second reinterpret cast at the end here, so I can do Control Z. You see how I did reinterpret cast the original? You're not supposed to do that. Instead of reinterpreting cast, just do LP void in parentheses. Make sure you put an and symbol behind it, and you should be good. So that's my bad, but yeah, as you can see, it worked. Let me redo it for you if you want. So we're going to go into the game. Let me rebuild just in case. Inject it. Then we're going to go into the game. Let's skip this cutscene. And boom, you have way zoomed out FOV, and it says FOV function called. So yeah, we did that perfectly. Okay, so moving on to Stumble Guys. I want to make a Stumble Guys unlocker real quick, just for memes. So let me go to Stumble Guys. Where do I have it? Let me search for it. So we go to Stumble Guys. Let me dump it. So browse the files. Let me copy where it is. And let me use my IL2CPP dumper. Go into the Stumble Guys folder. Get the game assembly. Get the data, metadata, global metadata. So we're just doing what I did earlier. So I don't really feel like I need to explain any of this. So I'm just dumping Stumble Guys right now. Stumble Guys. Dump. Now that I've shown you the basics, I can kind of like go through it without saying much, but I'll still like try to explain because It's a little different, but yeah. So we have our dump right here with our folder that we made. So let's go to script. Let's go to script. And I think the skin unlocker thing is called like is owned or something, or like has skin. Yeah, bool user has skin. So this is it right here. We're gonna copy the address, put it into our decimal converter. So decimal to hex, convert. This is the offset to the function that checks if we have a skin or not. So let's go to Visual Studio. I'm just gonna modify that with the source that we just made. It's not really too much different. So I'm going to remove the FOV thing because we're not using Devour anymore. The offsets are different. So remove that. I'm going to keep the MinHook stuff because it's the same. So we're going to use the new offset. Has skin offset equals 0x, the offset that we got. And then we're going to make the hook. So since this is a bool, it's going to be a little different. So we're going to do bool instead of a void. Bool with the parentheses first, underscore fast call pointer has skin underscore O for original, and then open it. Let's see the arguments. We have a user O pointer, so that's just a D word pointer. A string, which would be const char, and then a method info pointer, so another D word pointer. So we have D word pointer because we have a user underscore O pointer right here, comma, system underscore string is the same as const char, comma, and then we have const method info. So we don't know what this is, so we're just going to make it a D word pointer. If you don't know what it is, just define it as a D word pointer and it should be fine. So there you go. Now we need to make our hook function, bool underscore underscore. I'm pretty sure it's an std call. And has skin underscore h for hook, parentheses open, D word pointer, underscore this, because that's what it says here, underscore this, comma, const char, skin ID, so skin ID. These names can be whatever you want. I just want to keep it consistent, so I'm just going to name it whatever it says here. And comma, D word pointer, what is it? Method info method, so I'm just going to do method. Then we're going to open it. Has skin called with the skin ID, and then skin ID. So basically what this would do, this would print to the console that this was called. Like whenever this has skin check is called, it'll print to the console has skin with skin ID, and then it'll give you the skin ID. But here's the thing, in Unity, this goes for like almost every Unity game. Whenever you get a string from a Unity game, add 10 to it, so plus 10. I don't know why it does this, but for some reason, converting a C# string to C++, they have to like add 10 to it. It's like this with Rust and stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of weird. So you can do 10 or plus 0xa. 0xa is 10 in hexadecimal. I just like hexadecimal better because I've been working with it more. And then we're going to return true. You want to know why we didn't return the original function? Because the original function is a bool. Bools return true or false. They don't return like actual things. So then we're gonna do the hook with our old MinHook stuff. So we have the has skin offset, which we're gonna do right here. The has skin hook function, so we're gonna replace that. and the Haskin original, which we will also replace. Going to build it, and we're going to open Stumble Guys. This is such a meme. I just made a Stumble Guys unlocker on video. I can't believe this. So we're going to search for Stumble Guys in Process Hacker. StumbleGuys.exe. We're going to get our DLO. So I'm going to show you. So I have all these skins locked and stuff. All of them are locked. So let me inject the DLO. Miscellaneous. Inject. So now when we go to check our skins, all unlocked, and it'll tell me, oh my god, that's bad. Okay. So my little +10 trick didn't work. I can help anyone with that. Oh, actually, I know why it didn't work. I'm not gonna explain it on video because it's like really complicated, but if you really need to know, join my Discord server. I can help you out. But like, yeah. So every time this function is called to check, boom, it'll return true. I just unlocked everything in Stumble Guys right there. So yeah, Stumble Guys unlocker. Anyways, that's about it. I've gone over what I want to go over. If you have suggestions for like stuff I can do better, let me know. I'm starting out. I want to do better. Yeah. See ya. Have a nice day, night, whatever. Peace. Oh, and one more thing. You better subscribe.